Here's the honest truth most people don't want to hear: you're not unsuccessful because you lack talent. You're not unsuccessful because life is unfair. You're not unsuccessful because of your circumstances, your past, or your environment. You're not successful yet, because of you. And I know that's a hard truth. It stings. It triggers something deep inside. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've been avoiding for years. But sometimes, the truth that hurts is the truth that heals. Today's video isn't about hype. It's not about motivation. It's not about feel-good cliches. This is the raw, uncomfortable, honest truth you need to hear if you're serious about success. Because the gap between you and the life you want is built from habits you tolerate, excuses you repeat, and mindsets you haven't upgraded. Let's get real for a moment. Success doesn't hide from people. People hide from success. We hide behind excuses. We hide behind fear. We hide behind perfectionism, procrastination, self-doubt, and comfort. If you're not where you want to be, it's not because you're incapable. It's because somewhere along the way, you built patterns that sabotage your potential. Patterns like waiting to feel ready, quitting as soon as things get uncomfortable, letting distractions dictate your days, choosing comfort over growth, wanting results without routines, wanting change without sacrifice, wanting success without struggle. Hard truth? You can't outdream your habits. You can't outrun your mindset. You can't rise higher with the same thoughts that have kept you stuck. Your life right now is the reflection of one thing: your standards. The standard you hold for your discipline. The standard you hold for your work ethic. The standard you hold for your habits. The standard you hold for what you tolerate in yourself. Not the standard you wish you had. The one you live by. If your standards are low, your results will be low. If your standards are inconsistent, your results will be inconsistent. If your standards are negotiable, your success will always be negotiable. People don't rise to their goals. They fall to their standards. And right now, your standards may be too low for the life you want. Not because you're a bad person, but because you've accepted versions of yourself that don't match your potential. Maybe you've accepted procrastination as your normal. Maybe you've accepted mediocrity as comfortable. Maybe you've accepted fear as permanent. Maybe you've accepted limitations as identity. Maybe you've accepted distractions as unavoidable. But here's the honest truth: everything you accept becomes your cage. Everything you avoid becomes your ceiling. Everything you tolerate becomes your life. This isn't a judgment. This is your breakthrough. Because the moment you stop lying to yourself, the moment you stop blaming the world, the moment you stop waiting for a better time, is the moment something shifts inside you. You realize that success is not about being special. It's about being responsible. Responsible for your habits. Responsible for your choices. Responsible for your mindset. Responsible for your life. And the most empowering part? If you are the reason you're not successful yet, then you also have the power to change everything. If you're brave enough to accept that you are the biggest factor in your own success, then you're ready to see the habits that have been silently sabotaging your progress. These habits don't scream. They whisper. They hide behind logic. They disguise themselves as normal. They feel small, harmless, even justified. But these are the habits that keep millions of people stuck for years, sometimes decades. Let's expose them one by one. 1. The habit of avoidance. Most people don't fail because they try and lose. They fail because they avoid trying at all. Avoidance is subtle: avoiding the hard work, avoiding difficult conversations, avoiding uncomfortable tasks, avoiding responsibilities, avoiding self-discipline, avoiding anything that feels unfamiliar. Avoidance feels safe in the moment, but it destroys you in the long run. Because every time you avoid something, you send a message to your brain: I don't believe I can handle this. And your brain obeys. Fear grows. Self-doubt strengthens. Your comfort zone shrinks. Avoidance builds anxiety. Action builds confidence. 2. The habit of procrastination. Procrastination is not laziness, it's fear. Fear of failing. Fear of succeeding. Fear of discomfort. Fear of accountability. You tell yourself, I'll do it tomorrow. I work better under pressure. I'm not in the right mood today. But the truth is simpler, you don't trust yourself to follow through. Procrastination is a thief not just of time, but of identity. It steals your belief in your own capability. Every time you delay what matters, you strengthen the version of yourself who settles. 3. The habit of distraction. Distraction is the modern addiction. Not because we're addicted to phones, but because we're addicted to escape. Scrolling instead of starting. Entertainment instead of effort. Noise instead of silence. Comfort instead of clarity. Distraction is appealing because it requires nothing from you. No growth. No risk. No discomfort. But here's the truth, you cannot build the life you want by constantly escaping the life you have. Your future demands your focus. And right now, your focus may belong to everything except your goals. 4. The habit of excuses. Excuses are lies wrapped in logic. They sound reasonable. They sound believable. They sound like valid reasons. But behind every excuse is the same root issue, a lack of ownership. And here's what most people never realize, the moment you choose an excuse, you also choose the outcome that comes with it. Excuses protect your ego. But they destroy your progress. 5. The habit of emotional decision-making. Most people make decisions based on how they feel, not on what they need to do. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel ready. But feelings come and go. If your consistency is tied to your emotions, your life will always be unstable. Successful people don't trust their moods, they trust their systems. 6. The habit of low standards. Here's the painful truth, your standards determine your success. If you accept inconsistency, you'll live an inconsistent life. If you accept laziness, you'll live a lazy life. If you accept excuses, you'll live a life built by excuses. Your habits don't betray you, they reveal your standards. Raise your standards, and your life will rise with them. 7. The habit of waiting for the right moment. Waiting for motivation. Waiting for confidence. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for the perfect time. But the right moment isn't coming. The perfect time doesn't exist. And waiting is the slowest form of self-sabotage. Every minute you wait is a minute someone else uses. Progress belongs to those who move, not those who wait. Here's the truth, these habits don't ruin your life overnight. They ruin it gradually, silently, through years of delayed action and missed opportunities. But once you see these habits clearly, you can break them. And the moment you break them, your life will shift faster than you ever imagined. Now that we've exposed the habits that quietly sabotage your success, it's time to go deeper into the mindset shifts that separate people who stay stuck from people who rise. Because the truth is this, you can change your habits temporarily, but if you don't upgrade your mindset, you will always return to the same patterns. Your mind is the operating system. Your habits are the applications. If the system stays outdated, the apps will crash. Let's break down the mindset shifts that unlock the success you've been chasing. 1. The shift from why me to why not me. Most people walk through life expecting failure. They believe success is for other people. People richer, luckier, smarter, more confident, more connected. But that mindset is built on a lie. Success doesn't choose special people. It rewards committed people. When you shift from victim mindset to possibility mindset, everything changes. Why is this happening to me? Becomes, what can I do about it? I don't think I can do that, becomes others have done it, why not me? This shift alone can change your entire destiny. 2. The shift from wanting success to requiring success. Most people want success. Very few require it. When success is a want, it's optional. When success is a requirement, it's non-negotiable. Think about it. You don't hope you'll breathe today. You don't try to drink water. You don't aim to survive. You require it. When success becomes a requirement, not a wish, you stop negotiating with yourself. You stop tolerating half-effort. You stop abandoning your goals for comfort. You show up because the future you want depends on it. 3. The shift from motivation to discipline. Motivation is emotional. It's inconsistent. It comes and goes like the weather. And if you depend on it, so will your results. Discipline, on the other hand, is a decision. It's built on identity. It is the agreement you make with yourself to follow through regardless of how you feel. Motivation gets you started. Discipline gets you finished. If you want extraordinary success, your habits must outlast your moods. 4. The shift from perfection to progress. Perfectionism is a success killer. I can't start unless it's perfect. I can't post unless it's flawless. I can't launch until it's complete. But perfectionism is just fear wearing a fancy outfit. Successful people don't aim for perfect, they aim for better. Small progress every day beats massive progress once a year. Consistency beats intensity. Action beats waiting. Progress compounds. Perfection delays. 5. The shift from fear of failure to fear of regret. Here's the truth: failure hurts. But regret devastates. Failure teaches you. Failure grows you. Failure directs you. Regret only haunts you. Successful people reframe failure as feedback, not downfall. They understand that failure is simply the price of progress. Once you fear regret more than failure, you stop holding back, and you start living forward. 6. The shift from someday to today. Someday is the dream killer. Someday is procrastination dressed up in optimism. Someday is how people waste decades. Successful people don't think in someday. They think in right now. Not because they're reckless, but because they understand that later is a liar. Life doesn't change in the future. Life changes in the decisions you make today. 7. The shift from comfort to challenge. Comfort feels good. Comfort feels safe. Comfort feels familiar. But comfort kills potential. Growth happens in challenge. Strength happens in discomfort. Confidence happens in action. Transformation happens on the edges of your limits. If you want a different life, you must embrace different behaviors, starting with discomfort. The hard truth about mindset: you cannot rise with a mindset built for survival. You cannot grow with a mindset built for comfort. You cannot succeed with a mindset built for fear. Your mindset is either your prison or your power. The moment you choose to think differently, you start living differently. And once your mindset shifts, your habits shift. Your decisions shift. Your discipline shifts. Your identity shifts. Your entire life shifts. Now we're entering the part that most people never see about themselves: the invisible patterns of self-sabotage. These are the behaviors that feel harmless, normal, even justified, but are quietly destroying your progress from the inside out. Self-sabotage isn't loud. It isn't obvious. It doesn't show up like a villain. It shows up like comfort. Like distraction. Like logic. Like harmless decisions. But these patterns are the silent killers of success. And until you recognize them, you will repeat them no matter how many goals you set, how much motivation you feel, or how badly you want to change. Let's uncover the patterns that have been holding you back. 1. You overthink instead of take action. Overthinking feels productive. It feels intelligent. It feels like planning. But overthinking is actually procrastination disguised as preparation. Here's how it sabotages you: you wait too long to begin. You get overwhelmed. You doubt your decisions. You lose momentum. The truth? Thinking does not change your life. Doing does. Success belongs to people who move, not people who think endlessly. 2. You seek inspiration instead of building discipline. You watch motivational videos. You follow inspirational accounts. You read quotes, books, and posts. All good things. But completely useless if you don't apply anything. Inspiration can spark you, but it can never sustain you. The real engine of success is consistency, not emotion. Discipline, not hype. Habits, not motivation. If you rely on inspiration, you'll rise fast and fall faster. 3. You start too many things and finish none. This one hurts because it's extremely common. You start a project. You get excited. You feel unstoppable. Then boredom hits. Or fear hits. Or difficulty hits. And suddenly you shift to something else. A new idea. A new goal. A new distraction. Starting feels good. Finishing feels rare. But here's the honest truth: you don't need more goals. You need more completions. Unfinished things drain your confidence. Finished things build it. For, you choose what's easy over what's needed. Your brain will always choose comfort over challenge, familiar over growth, pleasure over discipline, and if you let your emotions choose your actions, you will always sabotage your potential. The life you want is on the other side of effort, not comfort. 5. You surround yourself with the wrong environment. You can have powerful goals, but if your environment is weak, your goals don't stand a chance. Your environment shapes your habits, your standards, your mindset, your beliefs, your expectations. If you're surrounded by lazy people, negative people, gossiping people, unambitious people, inconsistent people, you will adopt their identity without noticing. Environment is stronger than willpower. If you don't change your environment will change you. 6. You chase quick results and quit when it gets slow. This is one of the most destructive patterns of all. You expect transformation in weeks. You expect breakthroughs fast. You expect results with minimal effort. But success is slow. Growth is gradual. Progress is invisible before it becomes noticeable. When results don't appear immediately, most people give up, not because they can't succeed, but because they can't stay patient. Your life is not supposed to change overnight. It's supposed to change over time. And if you quit every time it gets slow, you'll restart your life 100 times but finish nothing. 7. You don't believe you deserve success. This one is deep. Self-sabotage often comes from low self-worth. I'm not good enough. Who am I to do this? What if I fail? I don't deserve better. But here's the truth: you don't get the life you deserve, you get the life you settle for. If you don't believe you deserve success, you will subconsciously sabotage any progress you make. Self-worth is the foundation of self-discipline. The hardest part about self-sabotage: you can't fix what you refuse to acknowledge. But once you become aware of your patterns, you gain the power to break them. And breaking them is the first step toward the success you know you're capable of. Now that you've seen the patterns that sabotage success, it's time to reveal the part almost nobody teaches: the real mindset of successful people. Not the quotes they share online. Not the polished advice they give in interviews. But the internal rules, the invisible beliefs, the psychological frameworks that guide everything they do. These rules are the reason they rise. And the absence of these rules is the reason most people stay stuck. If you want the honest truth behind success, this is it. 1. Successful people take extreme ownership, not partial ownership. Not shared ownership. Extreme ownership. They don't blame their past. They don't blame circumstances. They don't blame people. They don't blame timing. They look at their life and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. Ownership gives them power. Blame steals it. When you blame, you stay stuck. When you take ownership, you take control. And control is the birthplace of success. 2. Successful people make decisions fast. Adjust later. Indecision destroys more dreams than failure ever will. Unsuccessful people wait for clarity. Successful people create clarity through action. They start. They learn. They adjust. They grow. They understand that you don't need the perfect decision, you need the next decision. And the faster you move, the faster life opens opportunities. 3. Successful people do hard things first. Most people run toward comfort. Successful people run toward challenge. They know that the hardest thing of the day is usually the thing that moves them forward the most. So they do it early. They do it before excuses. They do it before fear. They do it before procrastination wakes up. This one habit alone separates the achievers from the dreamers. For successful people don't trust their feelings, they trust their priorities. Your feelings will ruin your life if you let them. They change too fast. They're too unpredictable. They're too emotional. Successful people don't rely on feelings. They rely on their routine, their identity, their priorities, their commitments. They don't ask themselves, do I feel like doing this today? They ask, is this aligned with who I want to become? That one question builds a new life. 5. Successful people embrace boredom. This is one of the rarest truths. Success is boring. Mastery is boring. Consistency is boring. Daily progress is boring. It's doing the same foundational actions again and again and again long after the excitement fades. Unsuccessful people chase novelty. Successful people chase growth. They don't quit when the work feels repetitive. They understand that repetition is the gateway to mastery. 6. Successful people protect their environment ruthlessly. You can't grow in a place that shrinks you. You can't win in a circle that tolerates losing. You can't stay disciplined around people who aren't. Successful people curate their environment, their circle, their habits, their routines, their information, their space. They shape their world so their world shapes them back. Your environment is a silent partner in your success or your downfall. 7. Successful people are obsessed with self-improvement not because they're insecure, but because they know the truth: your results will never exceed your personal growth. They read. They study. They practice. They seek mentors. They invest in themselves. They are students of life forever. Unsuccessful people think they already know enough. Successful people know they never will. 8. Successful people delay gratification while everyone else looks for shortcuts. Successful people play the long game. They sacrifice comfort today for freedom tomorrow. They master patience, persistence, delayed reward, long-term thinking. Everybody wants results. Very few want the process. But the process is where success is earned. 9. Successful people show up even when they're not at their best. This is the mindset that makes them unstoppable. They show up tired. They show up uncertain. They show up stressed. They show up busy. They show up scared. They show up imperfect. Because the truth is simple: if you only show up on your best days, you'll never reach your best life. 10. Successful people believe they are meant for more, not in an arrogant way, in a committed way. They believe their life has purpose. They believe their potential is real. They believe their effort will pay off. They believe they can outgrow their limitations. And that belief is the fuel behind every achievement. Unsuccessful people doubt their potential. Successful people demand it. These mindset rules are not optional. They are the blueprint. They are the foundation. They are the difference. Now it's time to confront the 3 truths about success that almost everyone avoids. These truths are uncomfortable, they're raw, and they force introspection. But if you can accept them, your entire life will shift. Because these are the truths successful people face head on, while unsuccessful people spend years running from them. These truths are not motivational. They're not pretty. They're not fun. But they are real. And embracing them gives you an advantage most people will never have. Let's go deep. Truth: your life is a direct reflection of your habits, not your goals. Almost everyone has big goals. Almost everyone has dreams. Almost everyone wants more. But your goals don't build your life. Your habits do. A person who dreams of success but practices procrastination will live a procrastinator's life. A person who dreams of wealth but practices impulse spending will live in financial stress. A person who dreams of fitness but practices inconsistency will live in frustration. A person who dreams of growth but practices distraction will live stagnant. You can't have habits that contradict your goals and expect your life to magically align with your potential. Here's the truth: dreams determine direction. Habits determine destination. If your habits don't match the life you want, you'll never touch that life. Truth: you are rewarded in public for what you practice in private. People see the highlights. They see the confidence. They see the skill. They see the money. They see the achievement. They don't see the lonely nights, the quiet mornings, the repetition, the discipline, the failures, the sacrifices, the hours of effort, the emotional battles, the days you didn't feel like trying. Success is never built in front of an audience. It's built in silence. In private. In the work no one applauds. Most people want the reward but reject the process that produces it. And here's the truth that stings: if the world saw how you practice in private, would they still be surprised by your results? Or would they say, "This makes sense"? Truth: your future isn't waiting for you, it's being built by what you do today. People love to say, "One day I'll be successful. One day I'll get serious. One day things will change." But one day is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid responsibility. Your future isn't something that appears later. It's something you're creating right now, through every small choice, every decision you delay, every habit you repeat, every distraction you indulge, every opportunity you skip, every fear you obey. Your future self isn't separate from you. It's the result of you. And the hard truth? If nothing changes today, nothing will change tomorrow. Tomorrow is built by consistency, not intention. By action, not potential. By choices, not wishes. Here's the breakthrough: once you accept these truths, something powerful happens. You stop lying to yourself. You stop waiting. You stop hoping. You stop blaming. You stop negotiating with your future. You start taking responsibility. You start raising your standards. You start acting with urgency. You start building habits that match your goals. You start becoming the person success requires. This is the turning point. The shift from wishing to working. From hoping to deciding. From wanting to becoming. Now that you understand the truths that separate success from stagnation, it's time to look at the core behaviors that truly transform a person's life. Not the dramatic actions. Not the rare bursts of motivation. But the small, consistent, practical behaviors that, when repeated daily, turn ordinary people into unstoppable forces. These behaviors don't look spectacular from the outside. But internally, they rebuild your identity, discipline, confidence, and outcomes. Let's break down the daily actions that create real transformation. 1. They choose growth over comfort, daily, not weekly. Not when they feel inspired. Daily. Every single day, they choose the uncomfortable path, doing the hard task first, facing fears instead of avoiding them, practicing skills even when they feel tired, showing up when it's inconvenient, saying no to distractions, pushing past resistance. Growth is uncomfortable. But they understand that comfort never changes a life. Most people run from discomfort. Successful people run toward it. 2. They keep promises to themselves. This might be the most life-changing behavior of all. Think about it, every promise you keep reinforces trust. Every promise you break destroys it. Most people don't have low confidence, they have low self-trust. When you say, "I'll wake up early. I'll start today. I'll be consistent. I'll take this seriously," and you don't follow through, your brain learns this message: my words don't matter. But when you do follow through, even on small things, your identity upgrades. You become someone who believes in yourself. You become someone who can rely on yourself. You become someone who respects yourself. Confidence isn't built in a mirror, it's built in your actions. 3. They master the one more mentality. One more rep. One more minute. One more page. One more study session. One more attempt. One more step. This mindset isn't about killing yourself with effort, it's about training your mind to push past the artificial limits it creates. Just one more is how you expand your capacity. One more today means 10 more tomorrow. Ordinary people stop at enough. Successful people stretch into extra. 4. They reduce friction to make habits easy. Transformation doesn't come from forcing harder, it comes from removing obstacles. Successful people simplify, lay out clothes the night before, keep their workspace ready, remove distractions from their environment, plan their day in advance, automate what they can, break tasks into manageable chunks. Most people think success requires superhuman effort. But really, it requires a friction-free system. Ease creates consistency. Consistency creates progress. Progress creates success. 5. They don't wait for motivation, they create momentum. Most people wait to feel ready before they start. Successful people start before they feel ready. Because they know the truth, action creates motivation, not the other way around. Once you take the first step, energy rises, clarity increases, momentum builds, motion fuels emotion. And momentum becomes the new motivation. 6. They track their progress, even when it's small. Progress is addictive. But you can't stay consistent if you can't see your progress. Tracking creates awareness. You see what works, you see patterns, you see improvements, you see evidence, you see results. Even tiny progress written down becomes motivation. Tracking makes your effort visible and your direction undeniable. 7. They build identity-based habits. Instead of saying, "I want to get fit," they say, "I am someone who trains." Instead of saying, "I want to save money," they say, "I am financially disciplined." Instead of saying, "I want to succeed," they say, "I am a person who keeps showing up." Identity is stronger than desire. When your identity aligns with your goals, your habits align automatically. 8. They respect time like currency. Time is the most valuable resource, but most people treat it like it's infinite. Successful people guard their schedule, eliminate time wasters, say no to distractions, prioritize their work value every minute, control their day instead of letting it control them. Success is built in hours, not in dreams. Your time choices become your life choices. 9. They surround themselves with winners. Environment is everything. You cannot rise while surrounded by people who are comfortable being stuck. Successful people choose ambitious friends, disciplined peers, constructive conversations, inspiring inputs, supportive environments, high standard circles. Your circle shapes your standard. Your standard shapes your habits. Your habits shape your future. 10. They never break the chain. This is the secret behind unstoppable progress. They commit to streaks, daily reading, daily training, daily learning, daily effort, and they do everything they can to avoid breaking the chain. Why? Because consistency is built in days, but destroyed in decisions. The moment you protect your streak protects your discipline. This is the part where everything comes together. All the truths, all the habits, all the mindset shifts, all the behaviors. They form what I call the transformation formula, a simple but powerful blueprint that takes you from stuck, unfocused, inconsistent, and frustrated, to disciplined, clear, driven, and successful. This formula isn't motivational fluff. It's not theory. It's not feel-good advice. It's the actual structure that high-performing, successful people use, consciously or unconsciously, to rebuild their identity and rewrite their future. And today, you're getting the blueprint. Let's break it down, step by step. The transformation formula, 7 steps that change your life permanently. Step 1, brutal self-honesty. Transformation begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. You stop pretending that you're trying, that you don't have time, that life is too hard right now, that success is for other people. You admit the truth. Your life is a reflection of your choices, not your potential. This step is painful. But pain is clarity. And clarity is power. Step 2, raise your standards. You don't get the life you want, you get the life you accept. So the transformation begins when you say, I am done accepting this version of myself. You raise the standard for your discipline, your habits, your environment, your effort, your consistency, your self-respect. A raised standard forces a raised life. Step 3, build identity first, habits second. Most people do this backwards. They focus on habits first. But if your identity doesn't match your habits, you will always sabotage them. So you start with identity. I am the type of person who shows up daily, keeps promises, does hard things, stays focused, improves every day. Identity creates behavior, behavior creates results, results strengthen identity. This loop is how real transformation happens. Step 4, create a low resistance system. Success depends on structure, not motivation. You build routines that remove friction, set specific times, prepare the night before, remove distractions, organize your environment, simplify your process, break tasks into small steps. You make the habit easy, so consistency becomes natural. Systems make average people exceptional. Step 5, commit to the minimum action rule. This rule is the secret to permanent change. No matter how you feel, no matter how busy you are, no matter what happens, do the smallest possible version of the habit. 5 minutes. 2 pages. 10 push-ups. 1 small step. Why? Because minimum action protects your identity. And identity is everything. Step 6, track progress and celebrate wins. Tracking makes progress visible. Celebration makes progress emotional. Together, they make progress addictive. Every small improvement you write down rewires your brain. I am improving. I am consistent. I am becoming better. When progress feels rewarding, your brain craves more of it. This is how discipline becomes desire. Step 7, eliminate the old identity for good. This is the final step and the hardest. You must kill off the excuses, the mindset, the stories, the patterns, the environment, the behaviors of the old version of you. Not slowly. Not gently. Not little by little. Decisively. Because transformation doesn't happen when you slowly improve. It happens when you refuse to go back. You stop seeing improvement as an option. You see it as identity. You see it as who you are now. The old you becomes a stranger. The result: when you follow this formula consistently, everything changes, your confidence rises. Your mental clarity sharpens. Your discipline becomes natural. Your habits become automatic. Your goals become achievable. Your life becomes directional. You stop drifting. You stop wishing. You stop dreaming without doing. You start becoming the person you were meant to be. Most people fail not at the beginning, not in the middle, but right before the breakthrough. They quit in the final stretch. They collapse right before the finish line. They walk away while the outcome is already forming beneath the surface. And they never even realize how close they were. This is the tragedy of potential. But it's also the opportunity, because once you understand why people quit at the edge of success, you can make sure you never do. Let's break down the traps that cause people to stop right when they're about to win. 1. The invisible progress trap. This is the biggest reason people give up. At first, you don't see results. Then you see small results. Then progress slows again. This confuses your brain. You think, maybe this isn't working. Maybe I'm wasting time. Maybe nothing's happening. Maybe I should try something else. But what you don't see is the progress happening behind the scenes: skills forming, habits strengthening, identity shifting, discipline building, opportunities aligning, resilience developing. The breakthrough is forming in silence. Most people quit during the silent phase, not knowing silence comes right before growth. 2. The emotional crash trap. When you've been grinding for weeks or months without big results, something happens emotionally. You get tired. You get discouraged. Your mind starts negotiating. Your discipline weakens. Your enthusiasm drops. And this emotional crash tricks you into thinking the goal isn't worth it. But in reality, it's normal. Every major transformation has a low point. Every journey has a dip. Every success requires emotional endurance. The crash isn't a sign you should stop, it's a sign you're close. 3. The comfort reset trap. Your brain loves the familiar. When you begin transforming your life, your brain eventually panics. This is new. This feels different. This is uncomfortable. This isn't who we used to be. So it tries to pull you back into old habits, old routines, old patterns. Not because you're weak, but because your brain wants stability. Right before the breakthrough, your brain will try hardest to return you to the comfort zone. That resistance means you're evolving. For the comparison spiral trap. As you work toward your goals, you'll see others moving faster, achieving more, succeeding earlier, getting results you want. Comparison steals your focus and weakens your consistency. You convince yourself, I'm too slow. I'm behind. It's not working for me. So you quit, not because you can't win, but because you look sideways instead of forward. Your race is yours. Your timeline is yours. Your breakthrough is yours. Comparison blinds you from that. 5. Though almost their resistance. The closer you get to success, the harder it feels. This sounds strange, but it's true. When you're inches away from a breakthrough, your fear increases, your doubts get louder, your excuses feel stronger, your mind tries to protect you, your emotions try to sabotage you. Why? Because winning changes your identity. And identity change is uncomfortable. Your brain will fight your next level hardest right before you reach it. Breakthroughs require one last push, and most people never push through it. 6. The temporary distraction trap. This is where people lose everything they've built. Life throws, stress, drama, challenges, responsibilities, setbacks, fatigue, and instead of adapting their routine, they abandon it altogether. One missed day becomes 2. 2 become 4. 4 become a relapse into old habits. But the truth is simple: a distraction should cause adjustment, not abandonment. The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid problems. They're the ones who keep going despite them. 7. The identity conflict trap. Your old identity tries to survive. Right before the breakthrough, a voice inside you whispers, "This isn't who you are. You don't deserve this. You're not ready. You're not that person." This voice is not truth. It's memory. It's the old version of you fighting to stay alive. The breakthrough only happens when you silence the identity that's trying to hold you in the past. Here's the truth you must understand: breakthroughs happen after the hardest days, the biggest doubts, the lowest motivation, the deepest frustration, the longest silence, the strongest resistance. The moment you want to quit the most is almost always moments before your life begins to change. If you can outlast this phase, you will enter the rare group of people who actually experience transformation. The moment this entire script has been building toward. The part that delivers the real reason you're not successful yet, summarized, distilled, and stripped of every excuse, distraction, and illusion. And the truth is this: you're not successful yet because the future version of you is waiting, but the current version of you isn't showing up. Not consistently. Not fully. Not honestly. Not powerfully. Not with the standards, habits, discipline, and identity that success requires. Your potential isn't the problem. Your capability isn't the limitation. Your dreams aren't too big. Your goals aren't unrealistic. Your talent isn't lacking. The only thing missing is the version of you who is worthy of the life you say you want. Because success is not about deserving. It's about becoming. Becoming disciplined enough. Becoming intentional enough. Becoming consistent enough. Becoming resilient enough. Becoming focused enough. Becoming courageous enough. Becoming committed enough. You don't attract the life you fantasize about, you attract the life you're prepared for. You don't rise to the level of your dreams, you rise to the level of your standards. You don't become successful by wanting a better life, you become successful by transforming yourself into the person who can build that life. And here's the uncomfortable truth: you've been trying to change your results without changing yourself. You've been trying to achieve success with the same habits, reach new levels with the same mindset, create breakthroughs with the same discipline, embrace growth with the same fears, rise higher with the same boundaries, win big while thinking small. It will never work. Results are the last part of success, not the first. The person you become comes before the life you receive. Success demands identity. Success demands standards. Success demands sacrifices. Success demands consistency. Success demands choices. Success demands transformation. And the real reason you're not successful yet is simple: you haven't made the decision to become the version of you who doesn't quit, doesn't negotiate, doesn't avoid, doesn't wait, doesn't fold, doesn't settle, doesn't live small. But here's the good news, the best part of this entire truth: you can become that person starting today. Transformation doesn't begin with action. Transformation begins with a decision. A decision to stop living like the old you. A decision to stop believing your own excuses. A decision to stop allowing your emotions to run your life. A decision to stop accepting low standards. A decision to stop avoiding discomfort. A decision to start doing what your future self will thank you for. And once that decision becomes identity, everything changes. Your discipline changes. Your habits change. Your mindset changes. Your focus changes. Your environment changes. Your energy changes. Your entire life elevates. Because the moment you decide to become that person, the one who shows up, who stays consistent, who endures the boring days, who does what's needed, who acts without waiting, who pushes past resistance, who finishes what they start, you stop getting in your own way. And once you stop getting in your own way, success has no choice but to follow. Not instantly. Not magically. But inevitably. Because success doesn't belong to the lucky. It belongs to the consistent. It belongs to the disciplined. It belongs to the persistent. It belongs to the brave. It belongs to the transformed. It belongs to the person you decide to become next. This entire journey, all the habits, all the mindset shifts, all the truths, all the systems, has been pointing to one realization: the real reason you're not successful yet is because your future self is waiting for you to catch up. The moment you become that person, your life will rise to match. And when that happens, success won't just be possible, it will be unavoidable.